Michael Sam, you guys know about him. He is now going to be the first openly gay NFL player. He was signed by the St. Louis Rams. This is a great story. It's time. Hopefully there'll be some more coming, no pun intended. And former Indianapolis Colts head coach Tony Dungy had some interesting things to say about Michael Sam, and we've got a quote. He said, "I wouldn't have taken him, not because I don't believe Michael Sam should have a chance to play, but I wouldn't want to deal with all of it. It's not going to be totally smooth. Things will happen." So before we get into the substance of that, just real quick, Tony Dungy was the first African-American coach to win a Super Bowl. So this is a guy who has changed things for the better and lived through some stuff. So Jimmy, let's start just with that angle.
I agree with Tony Dungy. That's why I thought it was crazy when they had Jackie Robinson in the league. Such a distraction. It was such a distraction. Too much of a distraction. Tony Dungy was so distracted by that gay guy coming in the NFL. He crashed his car on the way to work that day. I don't know if you know that. So that's what he said. It was a distraction. Yeah. And but he has it both ways. He tries to say that he should be able to play, but I ain't gonna have him because you can't have it both ways.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
You can't say that.
Fundamental problem with this statement. And when he goes on to try to clarify the statement, I read it maybe 6 or 7 times because I'm like, maybe I'm slow. Because in the statement he's like, yes, nobody asked me if I believe he should have the right to play. No one asked me if I thought he deserved it. And I'm like, okay, so you're agreeing with all of this.
Yes. Right.
But he just shouldn't play with you.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think you get credit for the stuff that's so obvious. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Congratulations, he can play. Like, you don't deserve extra credit.
You get a right to live your life and pursue the American dream.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. But not with me. Oh, okay. Right.
Right.
No.
So what do you guys make of the? Now you're African American, am I?
Technically Jamaican, but okay.
Jamaican. Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
Not American at all.
Wanted to clarify that. We're in America. How about that? Okay. So what about that angle of it, though? That he, as the first African American coach to ever win a Super Bowl, that he's been through the things that have changed. So it's particularly odd that he would make this statement.
And that's how it came across to me. It was actually very disappointing because unfortunately we still live in a world and in a country where whenever you have for minorities, one person kind of speaks for the group. So when you see someone who's African American saying something that isn't in line with your thought process at all, it's like, oh great, ooh, no, but people know you more than they know me. They'll think I think like you. No, you kind of have that momentary panic of, I'm not an idiot, I swear. Yeah. So it's unfortunate, and
he's a representative of all gay people. I know what you're saying.
Well, you could act a little gayer then if you're gonna be.
Gay it up just a smidge.
Jimmy, tell me about what you think about what I'm saying.
Now I know where you're coming from. So I will say this about Tony Dungy. Yeah. Now, I grew up in a kind of a very racist neighborhood, and what he says about the gays is what a lot of racists say about blacks. They go, oh no, I work with them, but and they should be able to live wherever they want, but not next door to me, right? Or I love black people, I work with them, but they can't date my daughter. It's that kind of a thing, right? And so I love them, I'll go to church with them, but they can't live in my neighborhood. You know, it's that saying. That's what he's saying. Hey, he should be able to live somewhere. He should be able to play somewhere, just not next to me. Right. He's not on my team.
That's a really, really good. I don't even do that well. That's not even good. What is that? That's like half Paul Lynde. Okay,
and the irony is he also goes on to talk about how he, in terms of, how did he put it? I don't want to paraphrase poorly, but essentially we'll clean it up. Yeah. But his point was how he felt as though he was trying to be supportive of gay rights while talking about distractions, but creating the distraction that he was at the same time fearful would come about from having Michael Sam. I'm like,
So I think you're on it there, because I think what he's trying to say is there's going to be a media problem. You know what I mean? But yet he's the one creating the media problem. So I don't think it's really coming from anything against gay people. I think he's saying I'm giving him a very tepid defense here, just to play devil's advocate a little bit, but I think he's trying to say that yes, to bring in an openly gay player, sadly at this point, there's going to be a media circus. Now, he's creating the media circus at the same time, but isn't this just why we need people to just be out, and that's it? And hopefully this one thing, we'll have to deal with this for a season, and the next season, 5 guys will come out, and it'll be a big goddamn deal, and that's it.
But the reason it's grating for me still is because, he's in that position where he knows that the attention is often focused not on the game, but on people's personal lives or race or sexual orientation. So instead of using that awareness to not not channel the focus in that direction, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
So he's aware of how this plays out and still goes, you know, because he's gay, I wouldn't want to deal with that. You just are feeding the same problem.
Well
so
said.
Can I say 2 quick things?
Yes.
By the way, I was in Africa. You know what they call black people there? Africans. It's weird. They don't even call them African Americans. How did I get away with that shit? I don't know. But I forget the other thing I was going to say.
The other point, don't worry about that. Quickly, do I have to issue any sort of apology to the good people of Jamaica? I've been to Jamaica, wonderful place. I didn't mean to,
I think we'll be fine.
because you represent all
Of them.
the Jamaicans. All right, there
So
you go.
Jamaicans, don't be offended.
You know what was
Yeah.
a distraction when, what's the guy's name, the player?
Michael Sam.
Michael Sam. I heard he did put a glory hole in the shower room, which was not right. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a distraction.
Well, depends how good of a time you want to have.
Right.